So this exhibition is an early welcoming to Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanic Heritage Month begins in September 15th, and it's an entire month until October where we celebrate the history and the contribution of Latin Americans in the U.S. And we thought of this exhibition as being kind of that, like I mentioned before, as we open our doors, we are welcoming that the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month as well. It's a way to really highlight that history is still continuing to happen, right? We're still continuing to make history. And now, in this case, it's through the arts, visual arts. So this is that connection that we try to bring to our community.
Hola comunidad, welcome to the Museo podcast on air. In this podcast, we share behind-the-scenes stories from artists, curators, staff, and community members here at Museo Las Américas to celebrate and amplify the creative voices of Latinos everywhere. Today, we will be talking about our new exhibition, Museo Casa, with curator Juan Carlos Baños and artist Ruth Álvarez Luna. Welcome. We currently have here at Museo Las Américas Museo Casa, an exhibition that you worked on as a curator, right? Could you please share with us how this exhibition came to be?
Yeah. Basically, it was an adapting our calendar for this year of 2025, and the director and I were looking at the options of, well, what is something that we can look into for this space? And honestly, it came from a place of understanding that, and going back to the main mission of this place, and as a community museum, we looked into what can we do that is related to the community, that is especially during a time that is close to Hispanic Heritage Month, the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month. So that's how it happened. Through that conversation is how we went through this process of selecting a theme, a topic, and my idea was, why not look into the culture, something that is related to the culture, and hospitality is something that is very much rooted in our culture historically, and it keeps evolving. And through that, we made it very intentional to work with Colorado-based artists from there on. And before I forget to mention, it also intentionally we made it an open call to art, which we don't really usually do as a museum, but it was a way to kind of open our doors in a more intentional way related to the community. So that way we were making it accessible for artists of any stages in their art practice, whether you were a student or a professional artist or someone that makes a living or a professor, it doesn't really matter. It was about opening it to artists at pretty much their level.
I love that, how accessible and inclusive is that. And thank you for responding to my next question, because I know this process was a little bit different and special, right? So why do you think it's important to talk about hospitality in Latin American culture?
Well, I would say in this context, in this time, I think it's important because more than ever, it reminds us about being close again and being in community again, and really more than ever understanding that we need each other more than anything at this time. I think personally, I believe that this kind of exhibition is a way to shift the conversation that is happening and placing it where we can celebrate our culture and recognize the culture.
What do you expect visitors to take away from this exhibition?
Well, I don't know if I want to expect anything necessarily, but what I want from them would be to be open to the stories that are here. I think there's a really good level of stories from something that seems very interpersonal and intimate, and vulnerability in the different stories that are being told through the work, to the concepts that are being questioned. Because through hospitality, we do have some questions of whether we think that as Latin Americans, whether new generations are being actually received here, or do we belong here, right? So it really is a nice range of expression when it comes to hospitality, So I would want the visitors to be open to receiving that more than anything.
Yeah, kind of like as a space for reflection, right?
Yeah,
Too?
that would be great.
So we are approaching Hispanic Heritage Month. What does that month mean to you?
Yeah. Well, I think personally, for me, it's been, when it comes to this month, it's a reminder for me to get closer to my roots. I see it as what is it that in my culture as a Salvadorian, what are the things that we feel like we've contributed to this country in its history, or what are the potentials that are happening currently and that will eventually become history, right? And that could be, whether it's our food or the stories or the individuals ourselves that are being part of, for example, this exhibition, right?
So what's the connection between Hispanic Heritage Month and this exhibition?
Yeah. So this exhibition is an early welcoming to Hispanic Heritage Month. Hispanic Heritage Month begins in September 15th. And it's an entire month until October where we celebrate the history and the contribution of Latin Americans in the U.S. And we thought of this exhibition as being kind of that, like I mentioned before, as we open our doors, we are welcoming that the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month as well. It's a way to really highlight that history is still continuing to happen, right? We're still continuing to make history. And now, in this case, it's through the arts, visual arts. So this is that connection that we try to bring to our community.
How are you, Ruth?
I'm doing really well. How are you, Cristina?
Great. I'm so happy to be back with the podcast since we took a little break in August. But we are back at it. Tell us a little bit about yourself as a person, as an artist.
I was born and raised in Durango, Mexico, and I came here to the U.S. During a pretty challenging time. I was 14 years old, and it was also during Trump's first administration. It was in 2016. So I would say that it was a pretty difficult time. So I struggle a little bit, like just adapting. But thankfully, I had the opportunity to be part of different programs, such as the migrant education program, that it's like from the Colorado education department. And also, like, they just guide me through different other programs that also helped me get into college, such as CAMP, that is the College Assistant Migrant Program. And they also like just served me as like this community, or also like this place that made me feel like I belong to a place. So after that, I just started to get involved more with my community, and I just got more interest to like just giving back what has been like given to me. So yeah, that I would say that's a little bit.
Thank you so much for sharing. It's very personal and intimate. So I really thank you for doing that. I know it's not easy when you know that hundreds of people are going to be listening to you. But I think it's great that you were able to find those resources, right? And that's why programs like that are so important.
Yes.
To help newcomers and migrants' families, because it's really hard, right, to move to a different country and a different area where you don't know anyone.
Exactly.
And yeah, we definitely need those programs. I'm so happy that you were able to find
Thank
something
you.
like that. Tell us a little bit about your career as an artist. When did you start doing art?
I started making art probably, always been like drawn towards like the arts, and just, I don't know, I've always danced when I was a kid and also like drawn, but it was never like a thing that I thought as a professional career. Because in Mexico, like you are like, just grow different, like you have like different things that you want to do. Like you are always thinking about survival. So like I never thought about doing like something within the arts there. So when I came here, I took my first I think it was my first drawing class, and I just realized how much I liked it. But still I wasn't thinking about art as something to do with my life. But when I got into college, and thankfully to all my mentors that I had with all those programs, I just decided, because I got a scholarship, and I finally felt like this, like just I felt like something was mine, so I was like, I'm gonna decide to do something for myself, and I just decided to go with the arts, and that's when I discovered that art was, for the first time in a while, like this new way of, or this new tool for me to express myself. Because like when I first got here, like I really struggled with like the language barrier. So I felt like with the arts, I didn't have to speak. Like my work would speak for it, like for itself. So yeah, that's
Well, let me tell you, your English is amazing. I'm also working on my English, so. So in this new exhibition, right, that we have here at Museo de las Américas, Museos tu Casa, we are talking about hospitality in Latin American culture. So what does hospitality in Latin American culture mean to you?
I don't know. Just our culture is so welcoming and so beautiful, and just like finding the right community with the right people. Like if you do, and if you are lucky enough to have it, like you are just unstoppable. That's how it, like I like to see it, because like if I didn't find like the people that helped me so much throughout my journey, I don't think that I would have done so many things that I've done. And I just feel like that's the secret behind the like our culture, that it's so sharing, it's always like so giving. And yeah, I just truly feel grateful to be just Hispanic, Latinx, you know.
That's beautiful. Well, is this the first time that you are exhibiting your art in a museum?
This is not my first exhibition, but it's actually my first time exhibiting in a museum. The first time that I exhibited, I think, is when I graduated from college, from Metropolitan State University of Denver. We had our BFA show in the Center for Visual Art. And yeah, but this is it's such an honor to like be here in Museo, especially because it's so meaningful for our community. And also like as a small artist, like you don't often have like these opportunities to be exhibiting in some like, because Museo is really important, like worldwide, I think. So I feel very like it's a pleasure for me to work with you all.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's an honor to have your beautiful art with us.
Thank you.
So, well, you've already talked about being part of this exhibition, but anything in particular that you want to talk about the experience, since it was your first time working in a museum? Is it different from, you know, the experience that you had in other settings, like maybe galleries or things like that?
I do think so. I don't know. I just feel I feel like I belong to a place, you know, like it's my first time exhibiting in a place where people like are like me, people that look like me, people that talk like me. So it's just very welcoming, and I feel so embraced and taken care of, you know. So I don't know. And especially like with this whole exhibition that is going to be with like wonderful artists that talk about similar topics that I talk in my work. So it just feels very like we can do a lot. Like we can make a lot of change within our community and like bring a lot to the table.
Oh, don't make me cry, Ruth. But yeah, I totally like agree. Like, and that's why Museo de las Américas is important, and that's why we want to share these stories with everyone. Because yeah, it is not every day that you can participate. I'm also an artist, so I understand what you're saying. Like, it's not every day that you can, here in Denver, Colorado, that you can participate in an exhibition, in a museum. And as you said, no, people look like you, people like, you just feel like you belong, and that doesn't happen every day. So
exactly.
So yeah, we're happy that you're part of this exhibition. So I love your art. I love your piece. It is very striking. I feel like visually, I love it. I love the colors. I love everything about it. Then I got very close because I love looking at all the little details. And I thought it was beautiful. Like, I like it up close. I like it far away. You know, it's just beautiful. So you're very talented. Thank you so much for creating such an amazing piece. But please talk about it. If you can describe, the piece, what it means, the story behind, for the people we're going to put some clips of your art while you're speaking. But yeah, tell us a little bit, walk us through your piece.
Okay, like this piece was actually part of my thesis show. So like in this like body of work, I focus on semiology and how different concepts mean different things for like different people and different groups. So with this specific piece, La Corona, I wanted to just like, and I also use like elements from the like this traditional game La Loteria, just because to play with this also like this sense of like luck, like how as an immigrant you don't really like, you never know, like it's so uncertain, like uncertain, you never know like what's gonna happen, right? So like La Corona for like immigrants, I feel like education, that's like it's so heavy for us and so like meaningful, and it sometimes it also even like has like a symbolical weight, like it almost feels like a burden that you also, not a burden, I don't want to say it like that as a with a negative connotation, but it's more like your parents sacrificed so much to like come here to a new country with like knowing what's like all the challenges that they were gonna have, and they still like decided to come here and like sacrifice those things. And like education for as a kid, it feels like a way of redemption or like a way of giving back to them like what they did for you, you know?
Almost like proving yourself, no? Like you're
Exactly.
worthy, you can do this.
Or it also like it's a way for me. It always felt like a way of like also helping them get out of the place that they were. That's why education is so heavy for like me and my family. I feel like we just struggle so hard to like, I struggled a lot like seeing my mom like and my dad coming like from like these like really exploitative like jobs like this, like so like
almost kind of like abusive conditions
exactly,
and like
you know, like
exploited, right? Like
yeah, and I feel like a lot of immigrants also like have the same experience, so like that's why education as an immigrant kids is so important, and it feels like you really want to do that.
do you feel like it's almost like now is your turn to make the sacrifice
Exactly.
for them?
It feels like
Like they did it for you and now you're doing it for them,
Yeah.
kind of like as a cycle of like,
exactly. It feels like they surrender like themselves, and now it's our turn to also like entregarse, like surrender to like this like destiny, you know.
yeah, it's yeah, as you said, it's like heavy and profound, but it's also beautiful in a way, right? Because you are showing your love for your parents, for your family.
Exactly.
But it can be a burden sometimes because maybe you don't want to, be a doctor or a lawyer. Maybe you want to be an artist, or you want to. Sometimes you cannot take the chance or the.
Exactly.
Because it's a privilege, right?
Exactly.
Because it's hard to make a living as an artist. So
Yes.
and I understand. Like I remember when, well, not to that extent, but like like I remember when I said that I wanted to study fine arts, and my mom was like,
Yeah.
but what are you gonna do as a job? And I was like, well, I don't know. Like I wanna study art, but yeah, it's like it's this conception of like.
Absolutely.
Of like, yeah, you want to be an artist, but how are you going to eat? Like, that's not going to give you, money or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why when like I first like, I wouldn't have chosen like art if I didn't got that specific scholarship that was like a full ride scholarship, because like I was like I have to do something like if they're like, what if I struggle? Like, how am I gonna pay for it? Like, I'm not gonna make them pay for it. And when I got that, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna be an artist, I'm gonna be a good artist, and I'm gonna like make it worthy for them. And yeah, and I think like it's not like I don't want to like talk about like education. It's something like has this like weight in a negative way, but because it's also like that's why like the painting also like follows this like focus of like just like the paradoxes within life as an immigrant, like it's so beautiful and it's so pretty, and it's something so like it can take you to a lot of places, but at the same time it feels heavy, like it feels
it's almost like a
suffocating.
dream, like a dream, no, that can
Yes.
become a nightmare sometimes.
Exactly. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I love your piece. Well, tell us what the piece is. Like, the elements. It's like
It's a graduation cap. My sister graduated on 2023, I believe. So that was her graduation cap, and it was the first one graduating from college. So for me, she's always been my inspiration, and she's always been like this person that has guided me through, like, and my biggest supporter, I would say. She's always there. So like I just wanted to dedicate that to her, because like she had like the hardest like path for me. And it's like the piece, like on the level it states La Corona, the means the crown. And
like at the bottom, right?
Exactly.
It says,
So that's why I like play with semiology by like labeling as something different, but like in reality, that's not a crown. Like, why would you name something that is not like a crown? And that's how like I invite my audience to just like start thinking about like, what is this artist trying to tell us with like this like imagery, and also like this different like.
and then it also reads, I think at the top, right? On the
Yes, like it
love
has
that.
a message.
Yeah, the
My
message.
sister put, para mis padres que llegaron sin nada y me lo dieron todo. That translates as, for my parents that came here without anything and gave me everything.
Wow, that's a profound message, a powerful message. Is that a thing? Is that a sentence that has been used before?
I think so. And I think it's just inherently what we all, as immigrant kids, like think about our parents, is just like this admiration and also like this sense of gratitude, you know?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Ruth, for everything, for your
you.
time, your energy. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience today?
I think that right now, I know that we're in really challenging times, but just to keep it strong, like keep it united, like we are really powerful, powerful beings, and we should like just know that. And to my youth, I would just like to tell them, like someone once like told me, we all have a story, and it's very powerful, and no one's gonna tell a story the way that we like tell it. So just use your immigrant identity, like not as this defective trait, but more as something to be proud of. We are resistant, we are resilient, and we should just like carry it with like pride. And yeah, if you all are interested on seeing my other work, it's gonna be on Three Leeches Gallery every Thursday. So you have that there. And I would just like to thank Museo for like giving me the opportunity to be part of this like wonderful exhibition with so many talented artists. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for your time, your energy. You know, your art is beautiful, is wonderful, and also your message is wonderful as well. I think that's it for today. Our exhibition, Museo es tu Casa, is going to be on view until September 21st, 2025. And thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow our show, share it with everyone you know. And if you also want to support us a little bit more, you can also become a member or donate at museo.org. And yeah, we really love all your support. We feel the love. So yeah, keep supporting in any way you can. And we'll see you in the next episode. Hasta pronto.